Hello and welcome to Barnstaple. This exceptional Tour of Britain enters its final weekend with pretty much everything still up for grabs. We're down here in the bottom left-hand corner of the map for a stage which could yet prove to be decisive. Mind you, that's exactly what I said about yesterday too. No Bradley Wiggins on the start line at Welshpool, a stomach bug ending his Tour of Britain, but plenty of British interest out on the road nonetheless. There were two fans' favourites in the break of the day. Christian Haas at it again, hoovering up more King of the Mountains points, and Rally's Graham Briggs, the first time he's figured on the race. The roads took their toll on the breakaway, on Zach Dempster in particular, and on the race in general. Then it went uphill over Caerphilly Mountain once, with Tiernan-Locke joining Briggs at the front of the race, and twice, this time in the company of Leopold Koenig. They gapped the field and they headed for home.
They're into the finishing funnel now. That's exactly what we expected. So it's Koenig that's going to come up here to take the stage victory. He takes the stage victory. Second over the line is Jonathan Tiernan-Locke.
There was a major shake-up in the general classification again. John Tiernan-Locke takes over as widely expected, but his gap is only 13 seconds to Leigh Howard and 18 seconds to Nathan Haas, who picked up a 4-second bonus on the line. Van Poppel drops to fourth, with Caruso and Jones the only other riders within a minute. Sky's challenge for the overall melted away today. Christian Knees dropping to 1 minute 34 seconds. So that was the story of stage 6 of the Tour of Britain, the Queen stage they called it, and if yesterday was the Queen stage, then today's the King stage or the Prince stage or something. Plenty of climbing again today. John Tiernan-Locke, we reflect on yesterday with satisfaction or slight frustration?
Well, the objective for Endura and for JT was to get the jersey. They've done that. That's one objective done. But I think he would have wanted to get a bit more time between his main competitors. I mean, he's only got 13 seconds to Leigh Howard. I mean, Leigh Howard's a sprinter.
Yep.
We've got a lot of hotspot sprints coming up. So today it's going to put a little bit of pressure on John Tiernan-Locke. He has to attack today.
Absolutely, and it's one of the intrigues, isn't it, Matt, of the Tour of Britain and races like this, that you can have Leigh Howard, who is essentially a sprinter, so close in the general classification to John Tiernan-Locke, who is a pure climber. Yeah,
I mean, over the last few years, you've had Michael Albertini win this race. You've had Lars Baum, who's a crossman and a time trialist. And, of course, Edvald Boasson Hagen, who's a lead-out man and a sprinter himself. So a real good mix. I think this race is just suited to an all-rounder.
Yeah, a bit like you. You're an all-rounder, aren't you?
An all-rounder without a sprint.
But you're doing a couple of jobs on this year's Tour of Britain. You're working with me doing this, and you're also the race controller.
I am indeed, yes. It's a role that's very new to me. I've done the race as a rider, as a manager, and now I've sort of come full circle and I'm race controller. So essentially, in a nutshell, I basically make sure the race gets off on time and runs from A to B safely.
All right, we followed you through your work yesterday. This is what he does.